Hello everyone, my name is Griff, and today we are going to be looking at the new mana spirals that were announced yesterday in this month in Dragalia Lost. They also announced a water showcase, a water focus at this next reset. Both of these are going to happen on the 3rd, as you can see. If I click here, it should say, yep, it's going to happen on July 3rd, and this will also say July 3rd. But I thought that tomorrow's video should be about the water showcase, and then I will give an update impression with the modifiers for these units, and I just wanted these units to have my first impressions of their 70 MCs. So I'm just going to jump right into it. The first one we have is Xander. I can pull up Xander's page here, and I might as well do that because this will allow us to look at each of them. I just have the page open all the water adventures, so as we look for the water adventures, we can pull up their pages really quickly. Currently he deals one hit of 852 and deals water damage to enemies in a line. The more buffs the users had, the more damage that skill does. So that's, plus 5 skill damage per buff, that's not bad, and 3 hits of 248. So let's see what his first skill does now. Deals water damage to enemies in a line and inflicts frostbite. Okay, he already has frostbite. The more buffs the user has, the higher damage, the higher skill boost will receive, and the higher damage dealt. Also activates Born Ruler. Aha, so this is what I was hoping for, specifically him. He'd have one of these passives. During Born Ruler, the user's 4 strikes are powered up and can damage far away enemies. This will also enchant Majestic Tide 2 and deal extra damage. Using Majestic Tide 2 adds an additional stack of Born Ruler, furthering powering up the user's 4 strike and causing it to deal damage and bonus damage to frostbite enemies, but also enhancing Majestic Tide to Majestic Tide 3, which deals bonus damage. All stacks of Born Ruler are consumed upon using Majestic Tide 3 or a 4 strike of any stacks of Born Ruler. Born Ruler will not activate when the skill is used as a skill share. So interesting. So they turn this skill into a skill ship kind of move where it gets stronger the more times you use it in a row. And then he also has Frostbite, and he gets a new 4-strike passive. This is an awesome ability for him. It's going to allow him to really become this 4-strike centered character after using his skill once. Deals water damage to surrounding enemies. The more buffs the user has, the higher skill boost it will receive, and the higher damage will be dealt. I don't think his second ability, his second ability doesn't usually have this. So now both his ability do more based off buffs. Both his ability do more based off buffs. That's awesome. Skill haste plus 15%. That's what he had before. Water, 10 hits equals 13 strength, what he had before, super good. Born Ruler increases strength by 6% for every 3 enemies defeated with 4 strikes up to 5 times per crit. Also increases strength by a further 5% when the user has the Born Ruler effect. Okay. So what I'm wondering is, does this stack each time he has a Born Ruler effect, or is it just he has Born Ruler, he has this effect? I'm guessing it's probably the second, because it doesn't say each time, it just says while he has this one effect on. Opponent's Sunrise to be expected, and 4 strike plus 55. I believe he has 50 at the moment. Yes, damage up by 50, so they just give him an extra 5%. Not a huge buff, but I mean, still pretty good. All in all, I really like this. I probably will 70 MC him, just based off of this. Especially once we see how this looks. This looks really cool, and I imagine now he has his own custom 4 strike. That's really awesome. Next, let's look at Lily. We'll pull Lily up on the adventure grid. Let's just hit 1 so you can find her easily. There she is. Actually, I'm going to... Oh no! There we go. Okay. Lily. So at the moment, she has a move that deals 2 hits of 484 and inflicts freeze, and she has 1 hit of 974. So, not amazingly good. Let's see what this has. Glacial Bloom deals water damage to the enemies and nearby enemies and inflicts freeze and frostbite. So now this skill is getting frostbite as well as freeze, and it will probably, I'm going to guess it's probably going to get some more damage. Does water damage to surrounding enemies and activates Crystalline Princess for 30 seconds. During Crystalline Princess, the user's standard attacks are buffed and do extra damage to frostbite enemies, and the area effects of skills are increased. Aha! Crystalline Princess will not stack, and the 30-second timer will be reset if it is activated again. So you can actually have this active for infinite amount of times if you can get her second skill up again within 30 seconds, and it just makes her skills bigger while also making her standard attacks hurt frostbite enemies. That's awesome. Skill damage, water HP equals flame res. Water H. Yeah, normal. Art, what she already has. Full HP equals strength plus 20%. I believe she originally had 15. Yes, that is up that by 5. And then exactly what I thought they were going to do with her skill haste, skill prep. They added skill haste as well, using skill foes 5%. Pretty normal, especially for once. It's gonna help her a lot, especially getting her second skill up faster. It seems pretty just a normal 70 MC, but this seems really interesting. I wonder how this is going to work. We really need to see modifiers for it and see how big her skills can get. Next, let's look at Karina, and I'll pull her up quickly if I go to the axis. Karina. So at the moment, Karina has the same similar effect as Xander on her skill 1, where it does 5% more skill damage per buff that she has. It does 2 hits, and then actually, in fact, I believe currently, yeah, he does 1 hit, she does 2 hits. So her modifiers are actually higher per damage cap. And then she also has this skill, which is 4 hits and draws enemy closer to the user for half a second. So let's see what she has now. Raging Tides. Deals water damage directly ahead and inflicts frostbite. The more buffs the user has, the higher damage boost the skill will receive, and the higher damage will be done. Okay, so now she has frostbite. Deals water damage to surrounding enemies when closer to the user. Also increases your defense by 30% for 30 seconds. Wow. Wow. I wonder if they're gonna make this cool down longer. But it's just based off of that alone, just the fact that she's getting a 30% boost for 30 seconds. That's a long time. She has the defense skill ability as normal. HP 60 equals strength 5. It's pretty alright. She gets healing double buff 5, so regen for 25 seconds each time a defensive buff is received. That's obviously going to help with her second skill. I don't know if she did. She had healing double buff. It just says healing double buff. Maybe it's healing double buff 4, but now it says healing double buff 5 on here. Opponent stun res, pretty normal. Skill prep plus 100% skill charge. She already have 100% skill prep. She only had 50% skill prep, so now she not only has 100% skill prep, but she also has skill charge. That's not bad at all. Luther, this was one of the ones I was most interested in. I wanted to see what they would do with him because he's a day 1 unit who's always been overshadowed by Orsum, in my opinion. Currently, he has a skill 1 that deals 1 hit of 186. That is terrible. And his second skill does 4 hits of 144 and reduces the enemy strength by 5% for 90 seconds with a 90 base chance. Also reduces defense by for 5% for 10 seconds with a 30 base chance. So neither of those are really nothing to drive home about, but let's see what they do with this. Inflicts damage, water damage to enemies, and inflicts frostbite. Deals damage to enemies ahead and reduces their strength by strength and defense by 5%. Okay, so they did combine those into one thing, and now he also has frostbite. I don't know how he'll fare. We really have to wait for modifiers in this one. He has critical rate and above 10 hits equals flame res. It's alright. Oh, he has a passive. Okay, let's look at that in a second. Increases critical rate by 15% when the combo count is 15 or higher. Did he already have that? Yes, he did, but it was only by 10%. Now it's 15%. Good on daggers, obviously. Opponent stun res, normal. Increases strength by 6% for every 3 enemies defeated with a 4 strike up to 5 times. Request also activate passive dinner each time the user's attacks as a critical hit. When this effective passes, the user's next frostbite will inflict frostbite. This effect cannot stack and will be consumed on use. After adding passive dinner cannot be activated again for 10 seconds. Okay, so he is going to be probably one of the best frostbite enablers on your team, especially if he's doing crits a lot. If you give him Gene to Arc, just to add up the crit modifier, and then you also, you have this critical rate. You get crit from Flurry Devastation. You're getting, I guess that's really it. But daggers obviously have a very high crit rate. They're attacking very often, so he will have 4 striking, and this frostbite up a lot, which is not bad for him at all. Yeah, all in all, I don't know if I'm gonna invest in him right now. The most I'm intrigued by is Xander at the moment, but this seems really cool. I like this. I always love the special passives that they're doing, and they've done, I think everyone but Karina has had one so far, so that's pretty awesome. Next we have Zardan, and I'm gonna pull Zardan's page up again. I did Luther's page wrong, but don't worry about that. He is a 3-star sword in the water element. There he is. Let's look at Zardan. So Zardan right now deals one hit of 682. That's not that great. And his second skill does one hit of 614? What? Why is this skill cost less and this skill does less? What? Okay. His skill I didn't know this. His skill 1 does more damage and costs less, and his skill 2 costs more SP and does okay. Okay. Anyway. Zardan Blade. Deal water damage directly ahead and inflicts frostbite. Okay. Deals water damage in a line and inflicts frostbite. So both of his skills now have frostbite, and they seem roughly the same. He has Dragon Haste and HP 60% equals Strength plus 3. I think that's what he already has. Full HP equals Strength plus 20. He currently has 10% plus, so he got another 10%. Not bad at all. And then he has Potent Burn Reds, and since he's a 3-star, both of his passives are Burn Res. So yeah, he seems like he'll have good Frostbite. I don't know if it will be better than Luther, if I'm being completely honest, but he will have a Frostbite, and he has a skill 1 that's shareable with Frostbite. Did Luther have a shareable? He does. Okay, so Luther also has a shareable skill with Frostbite, and Karina has this skill now inflicts Frostbite as well. Interesting, because this skill was used a lot on Ezalith's in the Agito in Volk, because Ezalith has so many buffs she gets from just crit rate, and as well as Sirens and Marts and all that. So she really liked this skill, and the fact that now she has it again, but it also inflicts Frostbite, could add some Punisher shenanigans into that fight as well. Alright. And last but not least, we have Retard. And let me pull up his page. He's a 3-star water healer. Let me pull up, boop, and we give it a sword. Here we are. Okay. Currently, restores HP to all allies with 108 recovery potency. Restores HP to all allies with 34. That's terrible. And applies regen for 15 seconds with 29. That's, wow, that is bad. Most times you see regen being like 103, 108. So, yikes. Currently, restores HP to all allies and removes burning. Okay. Restores HP to all allies and continues healing them over the next 15 seconds. Does this, at the moment, remove burning? It does not. So we got burn res removed on this. And this doesn't have any appearance changes, but like I said, the modifiers will probably go way, way up on that. Recovery potency, normal. Water HP plus 7%, normal. Full HP equals defense and recoverance potency. Increases the defense by 20%, increases the potency of recovery skills by 10% when the HP is full. It's not bad because he's going to be a healer, so it's going to make him more tanky and have better heals when he's at full health. Obviously, because he's a healer, he's going to be able to do that. This is kind of disappointing, though. All it did was add this recovery potency. It didn't up the defense. It's still looking like, for the most part, he's going to be one of the worst water healers that we have, just overall, which is kind of disappointing. I like these 70 MC healers. I think they add a lot. But, yeah. I guess Measure of Mercy will now remove burning. So that's good. This heal could be a lot. It could be more than Jay-Z's healing, but I kind of doubt it. But, yeah. All in all, I'm kind of impressed by how many unique abilities. A lot of these are really, like, unique in a lot of sense. You know, Xander has his passive, Lily has her passive, Karina doesn't have a passive, but also at the same time, she has this new effect that's increasing her defense, so she's really going to become like a juggernaut. Luther has a new passive. Zardan and Richter, obviously they're 3-stars, so they're less impressive, but still, I think they did a pretty good job with this round of 70 MCs. A lot of people were upset by the lack of 70 MCs when the Agito boss first came out, so it's really cool to see that they're actually going full force with this. But yeah, that's going to be all for me. Tomorrow's video will be about this water focus, and it will also include any updated thoughts that I have about the 70s MCs, because the modifiers will be out by then. So if there's some huge thing that's like, oh, Xander's extremely broken, I'll let you guys know. That's going to be all from me from today. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.